gathers to inaugurate a president. We bear witness to the enduring strength of our Constitution. We affirm the promise of our democracy. We recall that what binds this nation together is not the colors of our skin or the tenets of our faith or the origin of our name. What makes us exceptional, what makes us American, is our allegiance to an idea articulated in a declaration made more than 2 centuries ago. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. That they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Today, we continue a never-ending journey to bridge the meaning of those words with the realities of our time. For history tells us that while these truths may be self-evident, they've never been self-executed. That while freedom is a gift from God, it must be secured by His people here on earth. The patriots of 1776 did not fight to replace the tyranny of a king with the privileges of a few or the rule of a mob. They gave to us a republic, a government of and by and for the people, entrusting each generation to keep safe our founding creed.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. Hello, Facebook. What's happening, Google? What you're tweeting about, Twitter, YouTube, and internet listeners all around the world. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. I am the wild and wonderful Brenda White, and joining me to talk about it tonight, Miss Uppity is back. She's coming in at 10 o'clock and talk about it with us a little bit. She can't stand it, to stay away because she's got too much to say. But stepping in and filling in for Barry K. Jackson tonight is my daddy, Boo Boo, a.k.a. David Capers. Somebody.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm wonderful, Daddy. How are you?
I'm doing just totally awesome.
I'm just delighted that you're going to rant with me tonight and help me talk about it.
Hey, I've got a special rant, too.
Oh, you do? Well, hey, you can do that here, right?
Oh, yeah. By all means.
Because we came here to talk about it. And I don't care what we talk about. As long as we're talking about something that's going on in this country that's worth talking about, we can talk about it right here. Thus, we call the show Let's Talk About It. We are Spreaker's 2012 U-Voice winners for the most informative show, okay? And that's because we keep you informed. We keep talking about it. We keep telling you about it. And tonight tonight's subject, Jackie started the show a couple of years ago by giving us subjects for the show, and so I'm continuing with that tradition. I've got a subject for us tonight, and it's called "Separate but Equal, We Ain't."
You got that right.
Makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you, Daddy?
Yeah, that nails it. That really nails it.
That makes total sense to me. Separate but equal, we ain't. Welcome to the chat room, Crazy Old Man Network, right here at Spreaker.com. We appreciate you joining us. I hope that I don't offend anybody tonight, but if I do, don't take it personal. I called some of our low information voters the other week white trash. I want to take that back. Y'all know I don't mean it in the racist way. You know how I meant it, but I thought about that, and I thought, I shouldn't say that because I use all the terms "igga" and white trash and la 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 la. But
like my boy up in Chicago call them ninjas, right?
Yeah, ninjas. I don't really mean any harm, and I don't have a racist bone in my body about it. But I thought about it, and so I'm gonna go back to calling Jackie. Miss Uppity taught me they are low information voters. And when I called them white trash, I was thinking of Herman Cain too.
Okay.
I was thinking of Herman Cain too. He was right there with him. But I'm gonna apologize and take that back. And I'm gonna call y'all low information voters. And Herman Cain is right there with you. He's low information as well. Right alongside what's that other Eagle's name down there in Florida here with us?
But like him, I love him. He's still on sugar cane,
Yes, he is. Who's that other fool we got down here, Daddy? That's right.
Oh my God, this is Florida. Which one?
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry, acting like we got one. That black fool we got. West, Alan West. He's right there with the low information voters. I mean him too, But I'm gonna take that back, and I'm gonna try not to, I just get relaxed. But
but and here in Florida, we try so terribly hard to forget about him.
Yes, we do.
Like a bad thing, he keeps coming back.
See, if that was Paula, wasn't Majigam, they would be all over her whooping her ass.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But see, she says it in a different way. You know how it is, Daddy. Like, we can say the N-word, and if you white, you can't say it.
Right.
And that's just the way it is.
Like that fool guy at the bus stop, and I'm still trying to find that tape as soon as I get it to you. I'm going to send it to you so you
okay.
can pick player.
Who's that great white comedian that did the comic act, and he married a black woman, and he went to the party, and he was like, yeah, man, yeah, I'm going on, yeah, man. he thought because he married a black woman, he could go to the party and what's up, my nigga? And before he could get the end out, he said they had knocked him out. He said it was 5, but he thought it was 5 of them on him. But what did one hit it? That's how funny this is, and that's how.
Figured out that real quick with the quickness that they was dead wrong. See, and that hurt.
See, if Rush Limbaugh were like that white guy, he could get away with saying it. He could, but he doesn't mean it that way. He means it in a mean-spirited, hateful way, and that's why whenever you say it, you probably gonna get your ass whooped.
No doubt, because that's definitely what's going to happen.
Because my white soul brothers and sisters that can say it to me, they just don't say it, but they could,
Well, I think that shows. From then, that shows a little sign of a respect,
Yeah, that's what it is, and they don't do it.
What that word really
That's right, they don't do it, and white folks always say, well, black people, they say it, yeah, but that's different. It's different how we mean it. As Judge Mathis says, we use that term in many different ways, and we really use it most of the time to show endearment to one another. And we say it with a whole lot of respect tagged into it, Dave. You know, when we said we so proud of that nigga, you know. That's our endearment, and I love it.
Tampa, Florida, Channel 22. My executive producer and the guy that helped me start my business, his name was Tony Pollara. He's Italian. And we were so close, and he said that one night, and this other guy looked at him and he goes, man, you can get away with that. He said, yeah, but I don't suggest you try it.
Right, okay. And that's all we say. Because really, when I hear Rush Limbaugh or somebody like him try and say that, really the
Limbaugh.
Yeah, the
that
smile.
Message from Rush, he told me to cease and desist and do not ask him for no bad blame interviews anymore.
Well, Daddy, look, he asked me to perform. I performed at their damn Republican party as Tina Turner. How come he can't give you an interview?
I don't know, but I keep asking him once a month. So I asked him like I normally do on the 3rd of the month. I asked him, we still waiting, you know, and I'd like to have a co-host on my show to help me with the interview. Her name is Brenda White, and he told me
now, you know what, Daddy? I really could go on air with Rush and tan to his ass. I mean, I could really keep my I could separate those strong feelings with him and his bullshit and what he say. If I could go on there and talk with him the way I talk, I could roll with him.
Brenda,
I would love to roll with him.
But Brenda, see, I know you. You know, you're gonna get rubbed the wrong way, and all it goes, and everybody's gonna go, oh.
Oh yeah, you know.
There goes the Queen Bee rolling now, you know.
Yes, sir, buddy. I would love to roll with his fat ass just one time. He would never be the same. But yeah, you know, when Rush Limbaugh says something like that, he means it with much spite and much hatefulness and much evil mean-spiritedness. And that is why when white folks use that word in that term, you cannot do it.
Yeah.
Because you bring up feelings of slavery, lynching time. It's just your hatred that's in it. But anyway, like I said, I ain't gonna call y'all white trash no more. I'm gonna call you low information voters, and cause I mean, if they called me a nigga, you know, Dad, I would just laugh because my mother convinced me long time ago that I was not one.
Right.
And once she convinced me of it, it's okay. You know, I was standing in line one night at the movie, me and my girlfriend, my black girlfriend, and 2 little white boys were next to us, and one said to the other, yo, my nigga. I snapped around and looked. 2 white boys. I was like, damn, they calling each other nigga out, and he almost got hit. But no, really, I didn't.
Before he punched out this little guy here, Sarah, my man, the word for the day is repercussion.
Okay. No, he didn't almost get hit, but it was surprising. But that was 10 years ago, and I see now that, you know, white folks just think everything we do is cool, and they want to do that.
And believe it or not, though, growing up in the South, especially around Savannah, Georgia, I realize now that it's been like that for a long time.
Yeah.
We pick up a way of dressing, and the next thing you know, the guy over in Savannah High School, which at the time was all white, my daughter graduated from there.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll think about way of dress, and we come up with a slang.
Well, you know, Dad, all of these baggy clothes dressings for the black community came because somebody was poor and they had to wear their brother or their daddy's pants or something. And now you got the SAG, and now who's selling the SAG? Hell, Polo probably. Tommy Hilfiger. And this was all due out of desperation for black families who were poor that had to wear their brother or their father's clothing. And so I say, okay, whatever. I understand we cool, and it's cool that, you know, they want to learn. They've been wanting to dance like us since the bump. They ain't got the bump yet, but
They can't.
Let me say, I love my white brothers and sisters, right alongside my black brothers and sisters, my Jewish brothers and sisters, Muslim.
Okay, I got a question to ask you.
Yes.
I got a real good question for you.
Okay, give me a question.
All right, you know, back in the day, especially back in the 50s, especially at the heart, you know that Little Richard was the architect of rock and roll.
Right? Yes, he was.
Okay, so what does Pat Boone? What is Pat Boone? What does that make him?
Pat Boone.
Yeah, because
what the hell did he have to do with rock and roll? Wait, did he have something to do with rock and roll? Has he ever even sang a rock and roll song?
Hey, he went out there singing Tutti Frutti, so what, I mean,
get the fuck out of here, Daddy. You ain't seen Pat Boone.
And if you tune in tomorrow, I'm going to play them back to back so you can hear them.
You ain't heard no damn Pat Boone sing Tutti Frutti.
He most certainly did in 1955.
Well, and then what? He became the father of rock and roll?
No, they thought he was crazy. Okay, he lost his mind.
Okay, because you know Little Richard said they stole everything from him. They stole that, you know, the Beatles, they got woo!
He forgot about that part. He didn't even care that.
But you know, Little Richard is right. They did steal all that shit from him.
Yeah, they did. That's why he told them all.
That's why that's why he cussed them all. But you know, the Beatles said they love me. I was a god to them.
Well, yeah, they was in the Holy Road and all of that.
But you know, the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and folks like that from England, they gave the black folks their proper due.
Oh, of course.
They gave it to them.
We started a radio station in Italy, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, they adored them and they gave them their proper due, and as well as helping to put them on the map where they should have been a long time ago, like Muddy Waters, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling Stones and people like them, they loved Muddy Waters, and what made their lives so much better and richer was when those European white groups who were bigger than life gave them the you know, the praise that they were due and the compliment. Yeah.
Look who the Beatles had for an opening act, Billy Preston.
Okay, they loved Billy Preston. They loved Little Richard. They loved Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters, and we thank them for that. You know, we know we were robbed of many things, but you're not gonna rob us of this damn vote.
Well, now I'm gonna go back to the march the other day. You know, I noticed something that watching that. You know, and I'm going, you know, things that make you go,
Mm-hmm.
I was there for the first one.
Right.
And it was so crowded, and we had been on our feet all day. So I don't know who started it, but somebody got the idea, okay, I'm going to take off my shoes, and I'm going to sit down and put my feet in the reflecting pool.
Yeah.
And I noticed this time I'm going, oh, we was robbed. They put a fence around it.
I didn't want y'all put your feet in the reflective pool. Wow. And Daddy, you were at the first march?
Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness. I feel like bowing down to you. What an honorable thing that must have been. Yeah,
I was in pretty good company because I was there rubbing shoulders with Andrew Young and the late Jose Williams. And in fact, it was Jose that talked me in, and I rode up there with him. In fact, we had a bus from Savannah State College, and you were
rubbing shoulders with historical royalty.
And you know, now that I look back on it, I hadn't realized that I went to jail with some pretty prominent people.
Yes, you did. I mean, it was an honor to go to jail with them. You know, I think about the time when Martin Luther King went to jail for the first time. I believe it was in Americus, Georgia.
Right.
And he was so afraid, and he got over that fear. That growing up and listening to that and seeing that, you know, really it really did something to me for that, about fearing things, you know.
I tell you what, you can't say that you was brave because you never knew it was going to happen, and we walked up in the Woolworths that day, and we go, okay, here it goes. We all gonna sit down, and I ordered the
I
ordered the
and that was
never did get my sandwich either.
And that was something y'all really, really, really had something to fear. So when you think about the young kids that did that, Daddy, they were some awesome human beings because they really had something.
In fact, I was the youngest one in my group.
You know, Martin Luther King really had something to fear going into that jail in Americus, Georgia, by himself, black. You know, hanging them was and getting rid of them troublemaker. That was nothing to them back then.
And we had a lot to feel for him, but he always stated, "That's all right. I'm gonna be there to the end. I'm gonna see it through. It's not my time yet." And he told them all, and it wasn't.
I'm telling you, listening to those things, reading about that, studying about the fear that he first had when he first went to jail and getting over it, it strengthened me throughout my life and everything. And I say, what can they do to you? You know? Okay, so they could put you in jail. So what?
Well, I got put in jail, me and my loud mouth, for being funny in Atlanta, Georgia. We decided to go to the Lester Maddox's restaurant, and he had a special on fried chicken, and I went, imagine that. This man out here with a baseball bat trying to keep a black man from a plate of fried chicken.
Okay.
Lock me up.
I'm not going to play the full sermon of I Have a Dream tonight for y'all, but I am going to play it tomorrow night for Words of Inspiration. And up with Chris Hayes, he is going to play the full version of the I Have a Dream speech as well tomorrow night on TV at 8 o'clock. I'm still debating on whether I'm going on at 8 because even though I can record it, I want to see this thing live that Chris Hayes is planning on MSNBC, Daddy.
Right.
MSNBC.
Yeah, and I think I might go off a little bit early myself because that is something to behold. But you know what? To actually be there, I still get goosebumps sitting there listening, going back and listening to that speech as it was happening. And not only was it was not a guy in the house, but everybody had goosebumps.
Yes.
You can look at the person next to you and they'll show you their arm, and you go, oh my goodness.
Yeah. And Daddy, talking about this I Have a Dream speech and all this stuff, we're right back. It is amazing to me. I'm not so surprised, but it's amazing to me that, as you know, you've been following the show for some time.
Sure.
And you heard me over and over and over, as Miss Uppity Jackie said this evening. Brenda, you said it over and over that this was going to happen. And here we are now, amazingly, right back here with this voting rights thing.
Well, and I'm quite sure, especially you being from Arkansas, I know you had a bunch of old people that always tell you, and they preach this in your head, look around you. Everything that happens comes full circle.
Comes full circle. They said it over and over, and when I found out that I really hadn't paid any attention to this until the late 80s, early 90s, that the Voting Rights Act that Lyndon Johnson passed back.
They worked hard on that plan too, and they worked hard to get it through. And for us, 50 years later, to be fighting for the exact same thing, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
It is amazing.
Who would want to really take a step backwards?
Yeah, it is amazing. I'm going to play for us tonight, President Johnson. It's almost 5 minutes long, as he made the speech about giving us passing this voting rights amendment. Whoever we fought and died. I mean, people have already fought, bled, and died for this, Daddy. They've already been through. We've already marched. And now here we are back here as the Supreme Court has allowed them to gut the voting, or they gutted the Voting Rights Act. And Moral Mondays in North Carolina, the Republican lawmakers moved so fast on them because they are running everything there in the Senate and the House in the state of North Carolina. They moved so fast to take away their rights to vote. I mean, Daddy, they have stopped early voting. They have stopped the traditional souls to the polls voting.
And the Texas wasn't slow about it either, Brenda.
No, they have closed voting precincts to make it harder and longer. Now you have to have this new voting ID. You can no longer, as a student, your student ID is no longer qualified. They closed the voting precinct there on campus.
No more mail-in voters unless you active military.
Yeah, they closed the voting precinct at the student union there at Winston-Salem, a black historical college.
Yep.
They are pouncing on North Carolina to make sure that they win the next presidency. But I'm going to predict this, Daddy. If you thought that last year when we voted the president back in for the second time, and they started with these voting, trying to kill the voting rights for many people across the country, they didn't learn anything after having the brakes beat off of them and having their asses handed to them.
Yep.
Through trying to they cut out early voting right here in Florida.
Yeah, me and you had a discussion about that too, because even me being a vet, they tried to put me in the mix.
That's right. People standing in line for 12 hours. And I never, I couldn't imagine it until I got a letter saying that I needed to fill out an application again to vote. And man, I called and then we went on the air, Jackie and I that thing still makes me mad as hell. You can call me a nigga, but that don't bother me as much as you trying to take away my right to vote. And I have been voting in the state of Florida for 26 years. I have been a registered voter for 26 years. And here they come sending me a thing talking about I need to register to vote again. Oh, hell no.
They lost everything else, so they had to be outrageous and try something else.
Yeah, and as soon as I called and said, what the hell is this?
That's almost like a Hail Mary pass. But
don't worry about it.
It's a group of youngsters that's coming out now that didn't have a chance to vote in the last election, that was out there carrying signs and protesting. It's going to be more now than it was in the previous.
I am so proud of these young kids, Daddy. As I was beginning to worry about them getting out like we got out, getting out on the street. I am so proud of these kids, especially these kids in Florida and North Carolina. The kids in Florida here have gone to the governor's office and staged to sit in.
Lock the doors and sat in.
Lock the doors and sat in and stayed there and stayed there and stayed. They are really on the move, and they are doing it peaceably. Praise God. This was I know I've watched much footage on Martin Luther King, and he was in an interview about nonviolence this nonviolent movement that he was campaigning for. And this guy asked him in an interview, well, if you're nonviolent, doesn't that make you a wimp or weak or something? And
he always took him back to Mahatma Gandhi.
Okay, and Martin took his time and answered that question in such a beautiful way, and let them know of what this nonviolent movement was all about, when and when not to be passive, and what you were going to get through the nonviolent movement. And he said that I respect and praise freedom fighters everywhere, but there's a time to fight, and then there's a time not to fight. You know,
You know,
and
almost
this
can't wait.
nonviolent
I'm
movement,
hoping that they hurry up and
or what he meant was physically
do
fight.
the Butler, because the Butler followed so many historical events, you know, and I've seen every trailer they could possibly do, and the director of that motion picture was deadly accurate about all the events that took place during all the
Yeah, I
presidency.
can't believe Spike Lee hadn't come out fussing and fighting about it. You know, he cussing out every black person that does any movie that has the words nigga or anything in it like it didn't happen. That was reality, Spike, and it's going to continue to happen until you make movies. I mean, they got to make the real movies, and these were the things that were going on. You know, my grandfather was a railroad man.
Okay, I had uncles that did the same thing.
He was he was a porter,
Mm-hmm.
and his name was Gathon. And
Okay.
the white folks thought that was too good of a name for a Negro. And they refused to call him that, and they called him George. And that's how they paid his checks to him, and everything was George. You know, they weren't going to call him Gathon. And he took some, I'm sure it took much abuse to work on that train. But, you know, you needed a job. And black people have always been able to do that, you know?
Yeah, that was a way of getting out. And
they suffered in silence. They praised in silence.
Compared to the average black person during that era, they made more money than anybody because the railroad paid them and gave them real good pensions too.
Yeah, and my grandmother received my grandfather's pension until she died. And so, you know, they suffered in silence. They praised in silence. They fought in silence. But make no mistake about it. Just because you're not raising hell and shooting and throwing sticks, Dave, does not mean that you are not fighting.
You're right.
And that's what Martin Luther King and Gandhi and all of them understood. And Martin Luther King said, you can't shoot all these white folks because they got more guns and bigger guns. And what we had to do was fight for the right to be a full-fledged citizen in a non-violent way. And I agree with that, and I always will, because you can't fight nobody dead.
No, you can't.
You know? But this Moral Monday and Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream anniversary coming up tomorrow on the 28th. That was the actual date that he spoke this beautiful speech. It's amazing, yet it's fitting that I can't believe we're back here with this same thing at this particular time, 50 years later.
The same thing.
As we celebrate.
The thing that I'm worried about and concerned about, because the Republicans, they're losing this, but is we don't go back to the days of 1968, the stuff that happened during the Chicago riots. That was just sad.
I don't believe that we are, Daddy. You know, I'm so proud of the Reverend Dr. William Barber and the North Carolinians. And let me tell you, from all the footage I've seen, there are more white people there turning out for Moral Monday than blacks. Now, that's just from what I've seen with the footage.
It's a possibility that you could be right, because Big Tobacco still has one heck of a toehold in North Carolina. And these guys are more concerned about the green than anything else.
Yeah, see the middle
people, and they start to lose workers.
Yeah, these middle class white people really understand that these bastards are out to get them too. It ain't just no black thing. They want to stop the middle class people who are voting democratically, as well as they want to stop the black folks from voting.
Oh, the middle class is really taking the beating.
And the middle class, they are trying to just, they are just really trying to shut them out. I mean, we're sitting here with the Enrons and these folks losing their pensions and their, their IRAs, and what in the hell is going on? So the middle class,
they don't have and right now they realize that now, oh my God, I don't have a choice but to stick with these guys and change policies, because I'm trying to back this Republican guy up, and all of a sudden He's the one that put me in
Yeah,
hard
these
time.
son of a bitches are stealing from them too. And when it gets to this, that's when everybody is seeing this ain't even no black and white thing. Oh, they are definitely out to get the black and the brown
It's
people.
going to turn more economic.
But this is all about squeezing. This is all about squeezing the middle class until they bleed. And they really are doing that. This minimum wage thing. Daddy, how in the world can you expect people to live on $7 and some cents an hour?
Our news department made a film today during the newscast, and this guy, which happens to be white, his little girl has a debilitating disease, and she's gonna need constant care.
Mm-hmm.
So he figured, okay, I got Blue Cross and Blue Shield. I can go to these guys. They're going to give her a nurse, and she's going to be well taken care of. Blue Cross, Blue Shield denied her, and guess what's going to probably wind up saving her?
Obamacare.
Obamacare.
Of course it is.
And now he's beginning to see exactly what everybody was talking about, and now he wants to know what was all the hubbub about. If I'm going to have something that my child is going to be all right, well, I'm going to vote for it, whether I'm Republican.
You know, I hate to talk just like I'm sitting around the house talking, but that's what sometimes this show ends up being like. There was, I like to give the details, but there was a white Republican last week on MSNBC on one of the shows, Lawrence or Chris or Rachel Maddow, and he had a pre-existing condition.
Okay.
And he was in trouble, Dave, until Obamacare moved in. He had cancer.
Oh, man.
And Obamacare, he was getting turned down until Obamacare came into his state, and he was able to get it. He was able to afford it, and he was able to get treatment, and he is alive. And now, what do you think that Republican is doing? He is testifying for Obamacare.
Yeah.
Because I had this pre-existing condition, and they were locking me out. I would have been dead had it not been for Obamacare. So now he's trying to ask his fellow Republican brethren, who blocks insurance for other people? You know, Daddy, that's really what it comes down to. Who is mean enough? I'll tell you who's mean enough. These bastards that have their hands in the pockets of insurance companies. Barack Obama has said, you can't just go around getting insurance money from people, and then when they need to be cared for, you turn them down. And then you turn around and use your money, the money that they paid to build stadiums.
Well, I got to tell you.
You know, I'm so sick of damn insurance companies.
To the state of Florida, you know.
I'm so sick of...
And it's one thing that I really, really love about most Floridians, no matter what they color is. If they see somebody in a jam, they're going through a hard fighting times, do you know they will dig in their pockets, they will come out and they will get together and try to help? And
Daddy, I have met several Republicans here in Florida, out somewhere, you know, restaurant, whatever, getting your nails done, getting your car washed. I've met at least 3 or 4 Republicans, and each one of them could not help but break and say what a disaster Rick Scott is.
Oh, man, let me tell you, they're mad at that guy.
They are mad with him. White, black, indifferent, green, gray. They are pissed with his ass here in Florida. You know, he came right in and he cut education by $2 billion, and then a year later give you $1 billion back, closing schools, doing all this crazy shit. He cut out our early voting, made people stand in line for 12 hours to vote. Who in the hell does that unless you have got an evil scheme?
I haven't gotten through making my sign yet, but I might need you to back the Jeep up for me one more time.
Okay, where are you taking your butt now, Daddy?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it a time to march around the Capitol. Here comes Charlie Chris.
Oh my God. Okay, you damn near got me killed last year trying to go to that convention. I mean,
Hey, you can get the gas on my credit card, boo.
oh my goodness. Didn't I save your life at the convention, at the Republican convention? Doing a drive-by, jump in, they're gonna kill your butt. But I am so I'm so delighted to see that people here really understand that this is bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
And now, what is he asking for? Who was it? Rick Perry, the governor in Florida, Texas, who continues to say that his abstinence program that he's throwing money at works, even though they have the third. That's like winning the bronze in the Olympics. Okay, you have the third highest teen pregnancy rate in the country, and he just stands there and says abstinence works.
Well, somebody finally told him, man, that I don't know why you keep telling her that unless you fix up programs for these youngsters, because talking to them is like spitting in the wind.
Well, you know, they despise Obamacare, but he is asking for $100 million to help take care of the elderly, the Medicaid money, and the children. So if, you know, Daddy, they can't even make this lie stick. That the job killer is. How you know it's a job killer? Obamacare, you won't even let it. Your governor hasn't even accepted it in his state. So how is it a job killer? So how is it not working? You haven't even accepted it. But just like Rick Scott here in Florida, didn't he say something about doing the same thing?
Well, I got a question to ask you while we're talking about that, especially as far as the money is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
How about the western states now that are up under the gun with all these wildfires? And I'm still talking about the two states that don't want to celebrate the day. And I'm talking about Arizona, Nevada. You know.
Yeah.
What's really happening? They were so, you know, they had everything they needed. They didn't need Obamacare. They didn't need no federal money.
That's right. Didn't need any of that, and voted against New Jersey getting any money when their state was suffering. And now John McCain and some of his fellow brethren, I believe we spoke on this last week a little bit, are begging the president to make Arizona a national disaster area so that they can get this free government money from FEMA. But they don't need no money from the government.
Are those guys out there with them cowboy hats with the hands stuck out of pants in the hands?
Yeah, what do you need government money for? You know, our government ain't shit and it don't do nothing, but you know, but yeah, I wouldn't touch that dirty ass money if I were them. What do you need that old government money for? That's like getting government cheese, ain't it, Daddy?
Oh, you know, I missed that.
I mean, getting government money, ain't that about the same as getting government cheese?
That stuff was good.
And now they're begging. He won't make it. Wait. Listen, the people in New Jersey were struggling and suffering too when their homes were just flooded and washed away.
And Connecticut too. We got a friend of ours up there that's going to try to open up some new stores and help them open up.
Yeah, so now if they weren't, you know, if you didn't need it then, what did they need it for? What do y'all need it for? Fire, water? What difference does it make? Yeah. It's that old government money again, damn it.
Yeah.
And see, that the government money is only for the rich pimps.
But I was under the impression that most of those homes that was in those fire-prone areas had special insurance to rebuild because, my goodness, every few years a wildfire goes through there and take. I've done moved by now, though, you know.
Mm-hmm. And you know, Dave, I hate to see anybody suffering.
No, I can't stand it.
And I don't like to even play that game, but I hope the president just hold out and don't give Arizona jack. But Jan Brewer is taking this Obamacare. She sees the light. Yeah. And she's already told him she ain't. Did you see her greet him the other day? Remember the one where she had her finger in his face a few years ago?
Yeah.
And the other day, she was about to give him some head. She was grinning so when he when he showed
But
up.
and I look back and now that I think of it, wasn't that the same Bush that told George Bush when Katrina hit and said, "Well, let it blow over. It ain't no big hurry to do that because most of the people was done abandoning the city anyway."
Yeah.
New Orleans is one of the most historical cities that we have. How can you not help but say this?
And how can you not help save Detroit?
Oh,
How can you not help save Detroit? Where I don't know what's going on, but Detroit, they've just been trying to take over Detroit. Emergency manager, they letting them dump this mess we were talking about last week. It is some frackle crap going on in Michigan.
Yeah, and all the states are talking about, well, let them go bankrupt and then let's see what happens.
Look, we didn't let the banks go bankrupt. How are you going to let one of the most prominent historical cities in the country go bankrupt and do what?
I bet you would. I bet you that wouldn't happen to Las Vegas.
Detroit is the home of Motown, the Motor City. How can you not save it? We saved the damn banks.
Yep, we did. We saved the auto industry too.
We saved Merrill Lynch and all those some bitches. What? I don't get it.
I don't either. When I hear stuff like that, I'm like everybody else. I'm confused. I don't have any understanding. I get on the internet to dig deeper to see what the problem is, and all of this is the people just don't want other people to survive. I think I don't know.
It is an amazing thing, and then while you're doing all of that, you're trying to stop voting. Okay, check this out, Daddy.
Okay.
The Republicans have hired one of the smartest Republicans and decent Republicans and well-respected Republicans they have, Steve Schmidt, to help them to do what? Learn how to talk to folk?
I don't know. What did they ever do with sugar cane? He was smart.
No, the hell he wasn't. You won't believe, Daddy, how many white folks that thought Herman Cain was smart.
He wasn't smart enough to keep him catching up.
Now, if ever there was shucking and jiving going on, they want to put that on Barack. There ain't nothing shucking and jiving about Barack, but Herman Cain, oh yes, it was, and he was going just lie to us right on to the very end. Until that
sugar cane. Well, I tell you, and now I want to ask you one more thing. Whatever happened to that bishop that you had on your show? It was supposed to be the.
Oh man, look, we had to let that fool go, Daddy. We had to let him go because we wanted him to come there and speak to us sensibly. And he's coming there talking about the 50s and all kinds of crazy shit. And I
thought poor Jackie was going to lose her cool.
Yeah, and we just had to.
Religion with him, I mean, but
yeah, we had to. If he's not going to talk to us and answer questions, we wanted to know the answer to these questions, and I don't understand the black men who are sitting back. Thank God for Colin Powell. He's going to eventually leave the Republican Party because he's not going to want his name associated with that.
And he's telling them what's wrong with the party, and nobody seems to want to listen.
Okay, but I tell you what, they won't mess with him.
No.
Rush Limbaugh, Fox and Fools, none of them will mess with Colin Powell.
Nope.
They knew that they had their man when they knew that he could have won the election for them. But Colin Powell ain't going to run in that mess. He's not going to run.
Poor John Boehner, every time he sees Colin Powell, he turns another shade of orange.
Well, Colin Powell was on NBC this week on Sunday, and he told the Republicans that this voter suppression mess that they were continuing to do was going to backfire again.
You see it coming. You
can see it coming, and again, Daddy, they haven't learned anything.
Now they know they couldn't buy out the polls because the polls gonna tell like it really is, and That's the last thing the Republicans want to hear is the polls. The polls got them buried the last 2 elections, and it's not looking very favorable for them now. In fact, it looks worse.
It looks worse.
As we all know, Hillary Clinton has now thrown her hat in the ring. Whoa.
Okay, I mean, it's a shame. And if they continue to do this, you only drive people and make them more determined when you tell them you're not going to do it. I mean, especially, Daddy, since we've already had this privilege, you're not going to tell us now that we really understand what voting is all about. You're not going to tell us now that you're not going to vote. You're just not going to do it. We're not going to stand for it. It's an amazing thing to watch this taking place. But North Carolina, baby, North Kakalaki, some shit fixing to really happen there.
Well, that's why I said I wish I had hit the lotto. You know, for a couple of million. One of the things that I would do, I would charter me a few buses up there and find every black person, every black worker that's in that bad boy and say, come go with me. We're going on vacation.
Well, I am so proud of the white people and the black people. The white people and the black people in North Carolina are coming more and more and more every Monday, and they are just lining up, going to jail. We don't care. We good with it. But we going to keep coming. I mean, my heart, I watched footage today and listened to them in North Carolina as they spoke. And I dug up the file of 92-year-old Rosa Nell Eaton,
right?
Out of North Carolina. They're trying to stop her from voting, because she probably never had a driver's license or something. But
most people that age probably didn't. But and it bothers me because actually in Greensboro and Winston-Salem is the heart of the civil rights movement. Mm-hmm. That was one of the first places that they did a sit-in at the lunch counters. Those people up there fought hard for what they got.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them died for what they got. And now, all of a sudden, you want to take it from them? That presents a problem.
They can get ready, Daddy, for a long fight right on through the winter. It's not going to happen. These people in North Carolina are really fired up, as they should be, as they are taken away. Once again, there's this black historical thing that's going through the country, souls to the polls. This is where they can gather a whole bunch of black folks on Sunday because they go to church. And they take them all to the polls on buses from the church to vote that day. Make sure you go vote.
I worked as a DJ up in High Point, North Carolina, which is right outside North Carolina A&T.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, those students and those people in that area are not going to take that sitting down.
Yeah, take away the souls to the polls. They're taking away the early voting days, 8 days. That makes it harder, longer. You don't have as many days. People are standing in line more. I mean, why would you create this havoc? This is just evil. And to do it in their faces.
That's what they did.
And just say, we know.
Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Raleigh, my goodness.
Yeah, basically they're saying, we know we're doing it in your faces. And we don't give a damn. That's what Rick Scott did. And now what is he trying to do? They're going to give back a couple of early days. No, you son of a gun. You stay right where you are. You just keep doing what you're doing.
I can imagine now they're going to try to bring back the White Citizens Council again.
Okay, your ass is out of here. Florida is done with him. White and black and Jewish and Hispanic, we are done with Rick Scott. He's had the lowest rating of any governor in the nation for the whole time he's been here with his lying, cheating, no good, no hustle, baby raping ass. We are done with him. We're done with him. And so
even Charlie Crisp, as I told you.
Yeah, Charlie Crisp is going to run again and he's going to win. And I'm just so delighted, but again, we can't believe that we're here. We can't believe that we're back here with Martin Luther King. I Have a Dream speech, celebrating the 50th anniversary of this. But yet,
I said, things have come full circle.
But yet, at the same time, we are having to deal with the same thing. is just unbelievable. But now I'm going to, Dave and I are going to take a break, and I'm going to play for you a short version of I Have a Dream. I'm not going to play the full version. And then I've got a couple of other clips I want to play for you for more Monday. And then coming up at 10 o'clock, we have Miss Uppity Speaks is going to be on the line. Jackie is back for just a minute. We miss her so much here, but that's okay because, she can call anytime that she wants to and come on the show, but she's always got something to say. You are listening to Let's Talk About It. I am the wild and wonderful Brenda White, helping to keep you informed and always talking about it. And joining me and sitting in tonight for Barricade Jackson is David Capers of After Hours, the Razor Blade Express, all of those right here at Spreaker.com. And we will be right back.
From this love that we are, we're all made of the same stuff everywhere, from Mother Earth to the stars. Ooh, we swim in this ocean, we all share the air that we breathe. The only thing that separates us is what we've been taught to believe. But don't you be deceived. Oh yeah, we are one. We are one. We are one.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring. And when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, "Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last."
Oh, beautiful, far heroes proved in liberating strife. Who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, make God thy gold refined, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. And you know, when I was in school, we used to sing it something like this. Listen here. Oh, beautiful, far spacious skies, far amber waves of grain, far purple mountain majesties, over the fruited plain. But now wait a minute, I'm talking about America, sweet America. You know, God done shed his grace on thee. He crowned thy good. Yes, he did. Heavy brotherhood from sea to shining sea. You know, I wish I had somebody to help me sing this. America, I love you, America. You see, my God, he done shed his grace on thee. And you ought to
know you feel something right there, because I do too. It doesn't get any better than that. Hearing the short version of I Have a Dream and then having Ray Charles sing America the Beautiful. It doesn't get any better than that. We are Americans, and we are going to stay Americans, and we're going to keep on voting. Do you understand me, y'all? Y'all hear me? Whatever they say we got to do to vote, that's what we're going to do. And that's what Rosa Nell Eaton, 92 years old, stood up and told them in North Carolina that we're going to do whatever we got to do to vote. And they keep putting one little thing on us and then another, but that's all right. Right here in Florida, we're going to do what we got to do to vote. And now, y'all, on the line. Yes, I know you can't believe it. It is Miss Uppity. Woohoo!
I'm so glad she's back, but this stuff might make us fuss.
She had a minute and she had something to say, and it is time that we hear from her. We are so glad to have you back. My darling niece, the uppity and well-read Jacqueline Lambert. Hello, Jackie.
Hello, darling. Miss Uppity is in the house.
I know, and your butt's just been a burning. I know that's why she had to come back and say something, y'all. You know how they piss her off, and they are just burning her butt. And she was just telling me that the Republican Party has become what, Jackie?
The white supremacist party.
Say it again. Amen.
The white supremacist party.
That's the truth.
No, well, if you just look at the policies that they are advocating so vociferously, if you look at what the Klan stands for, if you look at what the white separatists stand for, that's what they stand for.
Yeah. And Jackie, if you stand for what they stand for, you think what they think, then you are them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly correct. And everyone is being so polite, they're not saying it, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, they act like we can't figure it out too, Jackie.
Yeah, that's true. And another point that I want to make, too, about the voting rights, all right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, President Obama, when he went to Israel, he told them that if they continued on the course that they were on, they would not be a democratic nation anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because they would have the minority of Israelis ruling over the majority of Palestinians if the Palestinians didn't get their own homeland, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what the Republicans are trying to do is they're trying to get their minority into a permanent position of leadership so that they can rule over this brown majority that will be upon us in another generation.
That's right, Jackie. That's exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's all this is. And when you elect somebody democratically and they don't govern in a democratic manner like in Egypt, okay, or in Syria, then you see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that the folks get all out in the street and stuff starts going wrong.
And they really believe, Jackie, okay, if we do it by law, you know, we vote and we change, that then they'll have to. No, they don't have to.
What did you say about unjust laws?
They are just that, unjust, and they are meant to be broken.
That's right.
Ain't nobody going to abide by no unjust laws. People are tired of that. And you can try this if you want to. And I see that you are, but the nation is going to rise up. Moral Mondays, every Monday, more and more and more white and black people and Jews and Gentiles and Muslims are showing up downtown North Carolina to let you know that they're not taking this anymore.
Well, Brenda, and that was the other point that I wanted to make as well. You know, they act as if every white person in America agrees with them.
Yeah, they just tell themselves that lie and just repeat it.
There are just as many white folks that disagree with this crap as black folks.
Absolutely, there is.
Nobody wants to go back.
No, I just told Dave, Jackie, I said, I've been viewing all these clips and stuff from Moral Mondays and the things that are happening around the country. And hell, if you look at the clips from North Carolina, there are more white folks out there than there are black.
Yes.
With their signs screaming. They know, just like I said to Dave earlier, they know they don't give a shit about them either.
Yes.
Well, it's the same thing about the Trayvon Martin demonstrations. during those demonstrations, when you looked at it, no matter where it was demonstrated, it was just as many white people out there.
That's right. And you know what, Dave? These people understand. We understand that we don't want to live in Assyria. And that's all that's going to happen when you think that you can put your foot on somebody else's neck and just rule over them.
And not only that, Brenda, especially a bunch of Americans.
Thank you.
We're the most unruly lot of folks on the planet.
Okay, we just want to be able to come and go and play music and listen to music and sing and go to the blues joints and the church side by side with our white brothers and sisters. We don't want this bullshit. We don't want no more fighting, and we should have this right to vote. Why do we even have to have a special law for black folks to vote? Why? Because y'all just won't do right.
Amen.
That's why we got to have it. But it's a shame. We should just have the right to vote.
Yes.
Everybody should just have the right to vote, and nobody can take that right from you. And here these bastards are now. They are picking on Winston-Salem, a historical black college in North Carolina. They have taken the voting booth out of the student union.
Yes. Well, they've taken the polling places away from most
of the colleges.
Well, what they're working on in North Carolina is this: they're working on denying all college students.
That's right.
The right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're working on, and that was established in law in the 70s.
Yeah, and you know, Jackie, what the reason
the right to vote where they go to school.
The reason they don't want them to vote was we heard one of the Republican senators or something say this a couple of years ago. They're too emotional.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, Brenda, just like when 18-year-olds got the right to vote, the Republicans are too happy to send teenagers and young people halfway around the world
to die,
to fight and die,
mm-hmm.
to kill folks and fight and die. But they don't want them to have a say.
Yeah, back here you can't drink and you can't vote. What kind of messed up shit is that?
Well, Brenda, look, it's just like we were talking about at the very top of this segment. Is that they want to rule over us. Governing is not in their repertoire. We know that they cannot govern
mm-hmm.
because we see what happens in places where Republicans are in charge. Everything is a mess.
So, Jackie, you think they think they're going to be the Romans again?
I guess that's
the new Romans or something.
I guess it's, well, for instance, if you look at states like California, Illinois, Massachusetts, New York, the places where, there are Democratic majorities now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Even given as bad as the economies have been and this, that, and the other, all these states are coming up. Like California is going to have a surplus this year.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it took for us to get there. What it took for us to get there and to get to start paying our bills off and that kind of thing was that we had to get rid of our Republicans.
That's right, Jackie. And
California,
here,
look, and when I say get rid of our Republicans, what I mean by that is simply that the Republicans do not have large enough numbers in this state to affect policy. Now,
and Jackie, they are not good. They don't govern well.
Exactly. There are still Republicans here, but they can't block the reforms that we have been trying to get in California now for years.
How did Bill Clinton leave us with a surplus? Democrats just govern better.
They govern way better.
And Jerry Brown, after they let Arnold Schwarzenegger destroy the state of California, Jerry Brown has gotten them back on the road to a surplus.
And baby, believe me, it has been hard.
Okay.
The thing about that too, that in California, is that the citizens of California voted to change our tax structure and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the citizens of California voted to
pay their fair share.
Cuts and things but we all know, listen.
And it was said, Jackie, that y'all voted to pay your own fair share.
That's right. And in California, we all know this, Brenda, that it takes all of us.
That's right.
It can't be just a few of us. It takes all of us. And we're all going to have to give up something. We're all going to have to contribute. And that's the way that it is.
Yeah, but next to Trinidad, y'all are the coolest fucking people on the planet. And y'all do get it. You know, that's why everybody used to head for California. Y'all do get it. And as they announced, here Jerry Brown, former governor of California, a Democrat, here he comes back, and I think Arnold Schwarzenegger has been there, 10, 12 years, Jackie, just destroying?
Well, yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, we had him for 10 years because he won in that special election.
Yeah, just destroying the state of California. They were in a downhill spiral.
Yes.
And Jerry Brown hadn't been back 4 years, 3 years. Has he even been back 2 years? Jerry Brown.
The thing about Jerry Brown, too, is that when people were going, I can't believe that California is bringing Jerry Brown back. Look, we needed somebody who knew something about this state and how things are supposed to run.
And knew how to make this thing work.
When he was governor before, things ran really well. The education system was great. You know, we had it going on in California.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm so proud of y'all and happy for y'all because California has really been struggling and they are back in surplus city because a Democratic governor has led them there. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Democratic governor, Democratic legislature.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
California, Brenda, I want to tell you too. In California now, nobody will cop to being a Republican.
Girl, Jackie, they don't even want to listen. They don't even want to say it here. You know that. If you say something about Barack Obama, they just say, you don't know if they're Republican or Democrat because they just got something good to say, just bow their head or just hate Rick Scott.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but they don't even want to admit people are starting to be ashamed of being a Republican because it says, Jackie, just as you said, they're the new white supremacists.
Yes.
I know some of my beautiful Facebook friends, white women got mad with me because she asked me to listen to this thing and to consider being I wouldn't be a Republican if the Lord Jesus himself came down here and touched me and said, I need you to be a Republican. No, Lord, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And so showing me this bullshit, I'm watching them every day with what they're doing.
Yes.
I'm watching what they're doing to little kids, white, black, green, yellow, red. I'm watching what they're doing to the elderly, I'm watching what they're doing to folks who've worked all their lives, and we just sit here and let Countrywide and these damn banks steal their homes and take them from them. People who paid their mortgages, they get their homes stolen. They don't go to jail for lying and cheating, and they stand up in the court. I'm sick of it. Who in the hell would be a Republican?
Yes.
They just baby these damn thieves and give them more money and throw more money at them. I mean, when Jamie Dimon showed back up on Capitol Hill after we had bailed them out.
Yeah, and please say that Jamie Dimon is the CEO of Chase.
Thank you, CEO of Chase. After we had bailed them out and saved their asses, 6 months later, a year later, they losing $2 billion, $6 billion again. They don't even know where the money is. Y'all believe this shit? How you gonna lose?
I got a question while I got you on the line, boo.
How you gonna lose $2 billion, $6 billion, Dave, and you can't even account for it? This is a bunch of bullshit. And then when he got up there on Capitol Hill and Daryl Issa, oh, thank you for your genius, for your mind, and we lose $2 billion every day up here. That's the way y'all look at it too. I wondered who's listening to him say this. We lose that every day, every week. And I was like, ain't this some shit? And you lose it and you try to make us pay for it. Go ahead, baby.
I think we're going to get kind of deep into politics and things. What was the reasoning for them just to outright just let Detroit go bankrupt?
Oh, well, the thing about the whole Detroit situation is what's going on in Michigan is outrageous. And the state, the Republicans in the State House are helping Detroit go bankrupt because they wanted to put an emergency manager in Detroit.
Yeah. And
the federal government, listen, we have a history of the federal government bailing out major cities, most notably New York.
Thank you.
We all know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in Michigan, 60% of the black population in Michigan now lives under the rule of a dictator.
Yeah.
So, in Michigan, they're going straight at it. What we were talking about before.
Isn't Detroit predominantly black, Jackie?
I beg your pardon?
In Detroit or Michigan, predominantly black?
I'm sorry?
Is it predominantly black?
Detroit?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. So they got a dictator.
Yeah, and so, but as you know, we've been following the story now for more than a year about these emergency managers that for some reason have to be put over these communities that are majority minority. They are the only communities having financial troubles in Michigan, but they're the only ones who are getting emergency manager. So and after more than a year of this, the cities with emergency managers, all they do is go in there and tear up the union contracts and things like that, and leave the people in even worse shape.
Yeah.
They fire the cops and the firefighters. They get rid of all their city contracts. They bust their pensions, and then they leave them even broker than they were.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wasn't the same thing that they tried to do in New Orleans too?
I'm sorry, Dave. What did you say?
Wasn't that the same thing that they tried to do in New Orleans after Katrina?
Yeah, well, in New Orleans, that's not going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
But, in New Orleans, after Katrina, there were certainly people who felt that this was a way to get all those black folks that they didn't want in the city out. And to keep them out.
Also, Jackie, I believe it was North Carolina today that passed another sweeping bill to keep all the homeless folks. They got 1,500 homeless folks, and they're going to keep them from 35 miles away from the downtown area.
And how are they going to do that?
Well, their choices are go to jail.
There we go again, because now Florida, in fact, St. Petersburg, Florida, to be exact, tried that. They tried to move them to the north of Pinellas County, and guess what? It didn't work. Those people are right back downtown again.
Their choices are, Jackie.
And put tents up again too. So
here are their choices. They can leave town completely. They can go to a shelter, or they can go to jail. It's 1,500 homeless people there. Their shelters are only suited for 250. That's all the bedding they have. And you get your butt on a plane or a bus and leave town.
Why don't they just go ahead and do what they want to do and just execute them?
Why don't they?
Why don't they just go ahead and do that? Just have the cops
makes
have
sense.
Their Billy Bobs.
Makes sense to me.
Run their pickup trucks and just,
Now, Jackie, if you would take a homeless person and put them in jail and pay the cost to feed them in jail, why can't you pay that cost then to help them throughout their daily lives instead of locking them up?
Exactly, because it would be far less expensive to have better shelters and have trucks.
Okay, Jackie, you got 1,500. What does Jeffro said? Naught from naught leaves naught. You got 1,500 homeless. You got 250 beds, and you telling them you go to a shelter, you leave this town, or you go to jail.
Yeah.
Well, back in the 1920s, they had such a thing as called a poorhouse,
Yes. Well, and then also, the vagrancy laws that they had.
Right.
So, why don't they just go ahead and do what they really want?
Yeah, Jack, just kill them.
Yeah.
Because to them, these people are nothing but maggots.
Yeah.
The 69,000 vets that are homeless, they don't think.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, too, that it's hard to get them to, I'm not going to say it's hard to get them to believe, it's hard to get them to admit that there are about 70,000.
Homeless vets. They don't give a damn about anybody. They send these kids off to war, and then when they come back here, they don't want to do shit for them. These are some amazing. These aren't even men. I don't know what to call these sons of bitches that do this to their fellow human beings.
Well, Brenda, this is a blessing in disguise, and I'm going to tell you how come.
Please tell me.
How come? Because for years, people have been able to say, well, no, it's not really like that. And it could be, well, see, they're leaving no doubt as to what their intentions are.
Right.
So you can't wiggle, woggle, and you can't equivocate about what their motives may be because they are telling you. They are telling you that voter ID laws are designed to keep Black and brown folks and young folks.
Yes, they're so happy about it. They can't even stop talking about it. Done. We've got it done. And then you got some ignoramus, some judge or something. Well, I don't see that. He just said it, goddammit. You know, who the hell do they think they're talking to? We just heard him say it. It's done. This vote ID thing that we did, yeah, we're going to keep Barack Obama, yeah. And then when it didn't make it, and they still lost, they just pissed more people off and made them vote. They just, okay, then we got to gut this dog law.
Yeah.
We're not going to let you vote.
You know, and then to Ted Cruz, who's doing his repeal Obamacare, his repeal Obamacare tour this summer. You know, he said it. He said it in an interview.
Yes.
That we have got to kill this law before the full benefits kick in and people realize that they like this and that this
Okay, Jackie, you dumbasses. You're saying it out loud. They know. I mean, when I see the ones that stand up, Obamacare is a job killer. This is a wretched law. How do you know? You haven't even accepted it.
And not only that, when you think about how Miss Jan Brewer came out and said that, well, we're going to implement Obamacare in our state because we want the jobs that it will bring, and do you understand me?
Okay. What in the world did she smoke that day, Jackie?
Brewer.
Okay, I just told David Capers, I said, you know, it was just a couple of years ago that she met the president at the airport with her finger in his face. I said, and this time around, she was about to give him head. She was so glad to see him coming. She was so glad to see him coming with that old Obamacare.
Oh, God.
It is amazing.
Dave, only Brenda. You know, only Brenda will break it down like that, right?
Well, you know, I just cut to the chase and people really understand how happy she was. I wanted folks to understand how happy she really was. She was happy. And you know, Jack, I came on to the show and the first thing I did was apologize for calling the low information voters white trash last week. Because Jack has taught me better and I couldn't think of a word right then to describe them. And I said white trash, but I really didn't mean it in a racist way. I just meant, you know, they like hoodless, toothless.
Low information.
Yeah. And so I came on and apologized for that, but I ain't apologizing. She was so glad to see him. She wanted to give him some head. Because Jackie knows that I get out of control, but all of y'all know that I love my white and black and yellow peoples. I ain't got no racism in me. I just kind of said some of the shit that I really mean right off, and I don't mean to hurt nobody's feelings. I ain't no goddamn Rush Limbaugh, though. Don't get it twisted. That fat son bitch, y'all just need to whoop his ass when you see him.
Right around and call him a bunch of dumbasses.
You know, if you just happen to see him going by and you just haul off and start whipping his ass, he deserve it. But ain't nothing racist about me, you know. So anyway, I just wanted Jackie to know that I apologize for calling the audience who went along with the Republicans and this foolishness.
She did, sort of.
Yeah. I called them.
She did sort of okay, Dave.
And Jack, I let them know that Herman Cain was included in that poor white trash. Herman Cain and Alan West, I was including him with that. So I didn't mean it like that, you know, like that. But y'all are low information voters.
Yeah, well, you know,
sugar cane. Them damn fools. Jackie, who are these black fools that stand with these supremacists, some sons of guns? Who are they?
Well, Brenda, you do realize, right, that even the Ku Klux Klan had black folks that said the Klan was right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah. You do realize that, don't you?
No, I never knew that.
Like, okay, guys, this is like the Stockholm Syndrome, okay? You know, where you're taken hostage and then you begin to identify with your abuser.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Patty Hearst and Sin Q.
That's how I explain, like, Clarence Thomas and Sugar Cane. And, you know, that's how I explain those guys, that they are suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. They are suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Well, Jackie, that certainly will put it right on, you know, that certainly opens it right up so you can understand and see what's happening when you said that. Because, you know, Patty Hearst and Sin Q came right to my head, you know.
That's right.
Remember Richard Pryor? I ain't gonna say it.
Look at it on the bank side. Well, you got to figure out too that the Klan is now, and all its property is now owned by a black person.
Well, I want to thank Attorney General Eric Holder for not being afraid about what they're going to say about him because he's black and because he's having to step up and handle what is seeming like they picking on the black folks again.
Yeah.
Because they are. And
Colin Powell too.
Yeah, and Colin Powell. I don't expect him to continue his name with those bastards much longer, to continue to be associated with them. But I love it that every time you talk about him, you got to call him Republican. Colin Powell said today that his Republican brethren was some crazy sons of bitches. I love it. I like him to keep the Republican title for that, but I don't for that purpose. But I don't expect Colin Powell to associate himself with these bastards much longer.
Really big.
But I
think that Colin Powell is trying to get him to come back from the dark side.
He is, Jackie.
I really do.
But he knows that they're not coming. But I appreciate the fact that he is calling them out.
Yes.
And he's holding on to the title of Republican.
Yes. Oh, but Brenda, speaking of Republicans, one of the things that I have been really enjoying this summer is the war that has been going on with the right-wing lunatics, and with that they're fighting the other right-wing lunatics.
Yes, Jack, isn't it wonderful?
They're just all the way off the
they're off the charts, baby.
Look, Brenda, they have just gone over the fringe, okay? And so now there's a Tea Party group who is threatening to sit in at Speaker Boehner's office because they're mad at him about Obamacare.
Yeah.
Now, John Boehner has allowed 40 repeal votes of Obamacare, but they're mad at him about Obamacare, and so now they say they're going to start calling it Boehnercare.
Yeah.
John Boehner has done all he could do.
Okay.
As Speaker of the House. And the other thing that I find phenomenal about this whole...
And he's tried the best he could to act like a fool for him, but,
Yeah, but no, the other thing about this whole healthcare argument is that this is just another way that people are advocating against their own self-interest. I mean, in California, it isn't just that the cost of health insurance has stopped going up so fast. It's starting to come down. Why? Because in the state of California, these insurance exchanges are being set up. Mm-hmm. And so it's a whole different animal out here in California now. Now the health insurance companies.
Jackie, I talked about this earlier before you came on. Did you see the Republican last week who had cancer and the insurance company was discriminating against him, and then Obamacare came into his state and he got covered and he's in remission now? And
I didn't see that.
It was a beautiful. It's going to be more and more of those stories, right?
Yeah.
And it was
what did he have to say about it?
Well, what he had to say was to his Republican brethren, why would you try to keep people like myself from receiving medical care?
Oh, my goodness.
Because Obamacare saved him. And his pre-existing condition, Jackie, was something like sleep apnea. Uh-huh. And that's what stopped him from getting any coverage, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but now that he had cancer, he really needed coverage. And they were holding him off with this sleep apnea thing, and Obamacare came in, and he got coverage, and he got treated, and he's in remission, and now he is on a crusade across the internet asking his Republican brethren, who are you, and why would you try to stop me?
Yeah, well,
and people...
this past week in the state of Texas, where Ted Cruz is from, he was having one of his repeal Obamacare rallies, and these protesters showed up, and they started chanting, "You have health care, why can't I?"
Ooh!
And to me, that should be the rallying cry.
Well, Jackie...
You have health care, why can't I?
Okay, you have health care, why can't I? It just makes sense. And I've asked the question today, why is it that they're just out here screaming about the job killing is going to kill folks? And why won't you even, how do you know that? You haven't even tried to implement the program.
Well, Brenda, the other thing, too, is there has been a story, I heard it first on National Public Radio, because everybody knows that, yes, I'm an NPR geek and proud of it. Okay,
right.
But it was about a man who needed a hip replacement, and it was going to cost around $100,000 here, and his insurance was telling him, well, he was going to have to pay for that because it was a pre-existing or whatever. You know how the insurance companies,
right?
We don't want to pay for that.
Right.
And so it cost the man less than 10% of what they were telling him it was going to cost him over here. Fly to Belgium.
Yes, I saw that story.
Surgery done, and to do his rehab. All of that was less than 10% of what it would cost over here.
Yes.
And the question was, well, why does it cost less in Belgium? Because the Belgian government says that it has to cost less. That's why.
Yes, Jackie. The same.
And what a lot of Americans do not understand is that the prices that we pay for health care over here, we are subsidizing everybody's health care all over the freaking world.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And I saw that story, Jackie, and I saw another one where someone flew to the Philippines and they had a hip replacement or something, and the whole freaking thing was like $5,000, and they showed their hotel room, their room in the hospital. It was like staying at a Hilton. They were laying on the beach in recovery, and their room was just spectacular. And the whole darn thing cost them $5,000. It was back here. It was going to cost them $20,000.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely amazing. Chris.
The thing that is most amazing is that it's just like I was saying to a guy I was working with years ago when the health care debate was going on. This was back in 2009. And this guy was one of these guys who loved Glenn Beck. Okay? Yes, I worked with a guy who loved Glenn Beck. Okay?
Oh, wow.
So we were talking about the health care debate, and he's like, well, I don't want some government bureaucrat deciding on my health care. And I said to him, I said, well, I would rather have a government bureaucrat deciding on my health care, someone who is not going to get a bonus for denying me the care that I need.
Right.
As opposed to having a health insurance bureaucrat deciding. And when I said that to him, he went, eyes got big and said, yeah, you hadn't thought about it that way, had you?
Okay. And Jackie, I mean, really, people are really, this post office thing.
Oh, God.
Them just trying to sink the post office. Why?
No.
Because the dad-burn Republicans, they want to privatize everything.
Yes.
I would not have, let me tell you, whatever corrupt government we got, I don't give a damn. I don't want the Republicans in charge of my mail.
No.
We will never get our mail again. At least we can, whatever corruption our government is, they still uphold, and we can make them uphold the law.
And not only that,
we can hold their feet to the fire.
The reason that it's a federal crime to do fraud and stuff through the mail is because it's a federal agency.
Thank you.
And so, and I don't know, this worship that the Republicans have of money and private, they act as though every private industry is so efficiently run.
Oh, yeah, they do, don't they?
We sure as hell know that isn't true if we just look back to the crash of 2008.
Bill Clinton pointed out to them the night that he spoke at the Democratic convention of how many years the Democrats were in office, and how things were, and how many years Republicans were in office and how things were. And all the Democratic years were good years.
Yeah.
Look at Bill Clinton, 8 years, left us with a surplus. George Bush ruined it completely. Barack Obama has us back on the track. We're going up, 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 up. We hadn't lost yet and come back down to folks losing jobs and and they just don't want to face it. And they're fighting him so because they know his plan is going to work. Because trust me, he's still taking lessons and getting advice from Bill Clinton and those staffers who helped that surplus come about. We just understand how to do it.
Yes.
And we do it by doing it right, by not letting the rich take over. And I mean, they always are putting us in a damn hole.
We always, the thing is that we need a balance. Yes,
we need a balance.
Businesses, of course we do. But the government is supposed to be the cop to keep private business from getting out of hand. And I was thinking about this earlier today. In school, when they teach us American history, when they teach us about the Great Depression, they talk about laissez-faire government, okay? And about them just letting businesses do whatever they wanted to do. And that's how we got into trouble at the turn of the 20th century.
Jackie, I don't know if you can see the chat room. Welcome, Apocalypse, I think it is. Obama isn't doing much to help rebound this country. Sorry if you think that. Obama could do a whole lot if he would have a Congress and a Senate that will work with him.
And also,
he can't write checks.
Like that, wait, Brenda, a statement like that, you better explain. No, I'm serious.
That's all he wrote.
You better explain that. Because what do you have a problem with? Do you have a problem with the continuing job growth? Is that what you have a problem with? Do you have a problem with the war ending in Iraq and nearly ending in Afghanistan? Is that what you have a problem with? Do you have a problem with health care for 30 million uninsured Americans? Is that what you have a problem? You need to speak up and say.
Well, Jackie, I'm sure he remembers the great years of George Bush, and that's why...
Yeah, hold on.
I'm sure he's comparing the great years of George Bush to running this country.
I'm not looking at the chat room.
I got it. I'm handling the chat book.
Well, we just want to talk with him right here. I just want to know which great years of George Bush that he thinks that Barack is doing a worse job.
And I want to know what great ideas the Republicans have. Okay, I want to know because all they're doing is saying we don't want this and we don't want that.
He is about to start a war in Syria. Oh, Lord Jesus.
I beg you.
He's about to start a war in Syria. Is that all you can say about Barack Obama? Come on, man.
I mean, please stop.
I mean, really.
Yeah, because we don't know what is going on in Syria. And one of the things that we know for sure is that President Obama hasn't come to us and told us a single lie to try and get us to go.
Okay, to get us to go. And John McCain and the Republicans are just leaping. They want a war right now. Go bomb them.
Yes, exactly.
Because if they go bombing, then their friends who get defense contracts will make more money.
That's it. So, don't.
Oh, Lord. Jackie, there's none who is so blind as he who will not see.
Absolutely.
George Bush left this country and it just was falling off the cliff. He had a $7 trillion surplus when he came into office, and he and the Republicans ruined that, and then got the hell out of Dodge with Dick Cheney and all of them left after they had raided and stole and made money off the stock market, the same shit that they locked up Martha Stewart for. All of them were doing it. They raided the country and spent that surplus up, got the hell out of town, and then said, here you go, Negro, it's yours. And Barack Obama has not had 1 month of job loss. Not one. Obamacare, if they will just implement it. He came out with the over 2,000 page jobs proposal. The Republicans won't do it, nor will they suggest any job. Let's fix our own infrastructure. They won't do that. What the fuck do you have against letting folk go to work?
Oh, no, the only thing they can come up with is that taxes are too high for Mitt Romney.
Yeah, don't nobody give a damn about this serious shit. We're talking about what's going on right here. You're telling me Barack Obama, he's lost jobs? Oh, please. He's had 40-some months of straight job growth.
Look, Brenda, the folks like that, the facts have no sway.
That's right. Facts don't mean shit.
The facts mean nothing to them because they make up their own facts the same way they make up their own history.
Yeah, and you know, Jackie, you have to watch Fox and Fools to get your facts.
So whoever that person is, you need to go troll someplace else.
Okay, you're sitting here. He's talking about Detroit ain't got this. Detroit is a 90% black city, and that's why they won't bail it out. And I'm hoping the president is going to say to hell with that. If it was Texas, they would bail them out.
Hell yeah, they would, and it would expect to be bailed.
And would expect to be bailed out. And so we are hoping that Detroit gets bailed out just like Chase.
Yeah, just like Chase.
Just like Fannie Mae. Just like
General Motors, just like New York City.
Just like Jamie Dimon and the boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why the fuck he can't bail out Detroit? Why? They need help just like those bastards needed help. And those bastards are just still giving away and losing money.
Yeah.
And ain't got no explanation. If you ask them like they did Jamie Dimon, I don't know. Where did $2 billion go? I don't know. How the fuck you lose $2 billion? I can tell you where my dollar is. You can't tell me what happened to $2 billion?
Yeah.
We thank you for your mind and your greatness and your
Yeah, but you know, Brenda, it's like we were talking about before. They can do what they want to do. They can try and keep people from voting. They can try and resegregate the schools. They can do none of that.
If every month had job growth, why are we still in recession? ? We are not still in recession. Are you watching Fox Apocalypse?
Obviously.
Boo, that ain't true. We're not in recession, sweetie. And yes, every month has had job growth. We all can't be conspirators and tell this lie. Just face it. The country we were in recession with George Bush and the Republicans.
And it's not only that, the recovery is not as robust as we would like
because they are doing everything they can to
Obama's policies, but because the Republicans continue to block progress.
They continue to block progress. I know it's hard for you to understand, but these really are some evil ass white men who does not want history to read that this black president brought us out of this mess and saved us. Now, he doesn't have to be black. All he needed to be was Democrat.
That's true.
And he would have still saved the country because we know how to do it. Republicans are shitting on you and anybody below their little scale.
Yeah, and if you think that you are in their club, baby, guess again.
Okay, you're not in the club.
Yeah, you might think you're in the club, but you're not in the club.
And that's why I love and appreciate all of my white brothers and sisters that are walking the streets in North Kakalaki, baby. Letting them bastards know that they're not, they some evil ass white men. That's all I can say. I don't know what else to call them. They ain't Indians and they ain't Negroes. There's some evil ass white men up there in Washington. And I'm not making up a lie. I mean, this was recorded. They met with what's Turtle Man's name, Jackie? McConnell. They met on the night that Barack Obama took the oath of office, the first time he was elected president. And they met and they came up with a plan. And this has been told over and over that we are going to say no to him no matter what it is.
That's right. And you know what has been...
I mean, how can Barack be respond? This is their plan. This is a plan. It's on paper. We're going to say no.
Brenda, the thing that's most fun about the healthcare issue is simply this, is that the healthcare plan that was passed into law and signed by the president and reaffirmed by the Supreme Court, the same healthcare plan that the Heritage Foundation came up with during the Reagan administration.
Thank you, Jackie. That was the healthcare plan was the Republicans' idea.
All along. But now suddenly this plan is socialism.
Yeah. But this was a Republican idea. Barack Obama looks at if you're a Democrat and you got a good idea, and if you're a Republican and you got a good idea, okay, let's put these ideas together and see whose idea works the best. His view is just really to help all people. And ain't a damn thing wrong with healthcare except that it's working.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that it could work better if we just had single payer. But
yep, and Jackie, Barack Obama hasn't said no to that. He just got folks fighting him on also. Okay, let's try this and let's see if this works first.
Do you know how we'll get the single payer though, Brenda?
Huh?
This is the best way that we will get the single payer. In all these Republican states that refuse to set up exchanges, federal government is going to have to do it. They are hastening the day we have single payer health care. Mark my words.
Well, Jackie,
they keep cutting off their noses to
spite their faces. And I am just amazed still as the many people, white and black, low information voters that don't hear it, don't get it. I don't know why they won't get it, because they're saying so. They're saying so, and they're bragging about it, and they're getting caught on tape saying so. And so here we are on the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech tomorrow, and here we are fighting a fight that they already fought, bled, and died for. Oh, Brenda. What? I don't know if you remember this, but last year I wrote a commentary on anti-intellectualism. Mm-hmm. And one of the hallmarks of anti-intellectualism is fighting the same fight over and over and over again. These people are such intellectual retards that they can't move on. Yeah, and Jack, and I believe that they are expecting different results. Yeah, and that's the thing. They keep doing the same things over and over and over again. I'm gonna tell y'all this. The same way, but they just keep on doing it. You're messing with this voting rights thing again, and you're thinking you're gonna stop us from voting. History will repeat itself, as it always does. And whenever you try to put your foot on a free man's neck and tell him he's not gonna vote, he's not gonna do this, he's not gonna do that, you just pissing in the wind. Yes. Because we will vote, and your asses are going to be locked out of being the president for even a longer time, because you just don't want to treat people right. And people won't have it anymore. Young black men, young white and black women, they're not there anymore. They don't know anything about all that hatred y'all tried to, that you used to spout and live and breathe years ago. About it, brother, is simply this. If you are going to be a democracy, if you're going to live, if you're going to hold office in a democracy, then you must govern in a democratic manner. Thank you. That is it. The longest time it was like, majority rules, but they just ignore our majority all the time. Okay, Jackie, the Republicans don't respect any law. Obamacare is the law. It's the law. You're not repealing shit. Do you really think that Barack Obama fought all this way to get this law to pass, get this bill passed, make it a law, fight all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says, yes, it's legal to do it? You really think that he's going to sign into law to repeal his own fucking bill? That's what Ted Cruz said. Stop wasting our time. That shit cost the taxpayers money. Yes. You're wasting our time. It's not going to happen. And the Republicans never respect the law unless the law is in their favor. They are like the whiniest freaking kids you ever did see. Yeah, they just want to take their ball and go home. Yeah, I'm going to take my ball and go home because you won't play right. You won't let me be the leader. They never respect law. They don't respect democracy. But I can tell you, you are not the majority. You are the minority. And no matter how many times you say we're doing American people work, you're not. And we know you're not, because the majority of American people don't want this shit. The majority of American people don't want to be going out the door and having rocks and shit thrown at them like in Syria. Yes, and the thing about it, Brenda, is this: saying it does not make it so.
And they have been, well, one of my favorite things about saying it does not make it so, Republicans, was just the election last year. When they had convinced themselves that they were going to win, they had made up their own poll numbers. They had made up
yeah. Only a fool. I mean, Jackie, that's like a fool that has himself a client who has himself as the attorney.
Yes, I know.
That's what the Republicans continue to repeat.
That was the funniest. That was the funniest crap, Brenda. And I know that this is serious, but Karl Rove on Fox News, he was wonderful, wasn't he?
He was wonderful.
The funniest shit, the funniest clown.
And Dick Morris. Oops, I was a little off on that.
Yeah, I got mud on my face.
Got mud on my face. Sorry. And who's the man that looks like the Joker? Like they sewed his face and pulled it tight or something. He is. Didn't see that. No, you can't see it, dog. Not if you using your own internal polls and shit.
And not if you believe in your own lies.
And not if you believe your own lies. Not if you're your own attorney. And even though they got their asses handed to them, Jackie, even though they got the brakes beat off of them for this presidential election again, they hadn't learned a damn thing. They came out saying, we need to change our tone. No, dog, changing your tone ain't going to have help. You need to change your heart.
Yes.
You see, the inside is what's screwed up about you.
Yes.
What's clicking in your brain is what's screwed up about you, and that's why they can't control themselves, Jackie. They'll just come out and say, yeah, we hung that nigger last night. No, don't tell nobody you hung him. No, don't tell them. They just so proud of themselves. They'll just come out and say it. Yeah, we hung him. No, you're supposed to say, no, I'm so sorry. We didn't know that was happening. Really sorry he got hung. But they can't control their mouths. They're so ignorant. And what is in their heart is so deep in their heart, they just come out and say it.
Yeah, well, and the other thing, too, about the voting, Brenda, there was one other point I want to make. What has the Republicans so alarmed, what had them so alarmed immediately after the election, and why they are so alarmed now, is that for the first time in history, black voter turnout exceeded white voter turnout.
And it's going to continue to exceed. The more they try to suppress our votes, the more they try to keep us from voting, it is going to continue to exceed.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that what they don't seem to understand is that if black voter turnout exceeds white voter turnout, and 90% of black folks are voting one way, it's going to be hard for them to win everything because they can't expect that same number from white voter turnout. They can't expect that. So, even though President Obama did not get a majority of the white vote, since he got super majorities among African Americans and Latinos and Asians of all people, I was really surprised at that.
Okay.
And women and young folks, they're going to get the brakes beat off of them all the time as far as the presidential election goes. And I'm very interested to see what's going to happen in 2014, especially in these Senate races.
Yeah, Jackie, this is going to be something amazing as we watch this. Shout out once again to North Kakalaki and the Moral Monday crowds. They are just ratcheting up another notch and another notch and another notch. And in the words of Martin Luther King, how long? Not long. Shout out to Dr. William Barber. I believe he's the head of the NAACP there.
In North Carolina.
Yeah, shout out to him and all the white brothers and sisters, the Jews and Muslims who are marching on Moral Mondays. And
you keep saying that, but it's like shout out to all of the American citizens.
Okay, because Moral Mondays is on the road now; it's everywhere. To all of the American citizens. That's right, Jackie.
Their efforts to suppress the vote is to deny our citizenship, and we've been there and done that, and we're not going to do that anymore.
Yeah, and that's not the only place where they've started the mess on the American citizens. That's just one of them. So this thing is affecting us all over the country, and trust me, when they do it in one state, the Republicans, they get that damn fax every night. They wake up the next day and they got this.
In North Carolina, what the Republicans are talking about about is taking this show on the road.
Yeah, they wake up the next day.
Everybody we don't like.
What is I said, Jackie? Do these mothers get a dat burn fax or email at night? Because the next day, whatever the language is, if the language is we getting putty tat today. Everybody, we getting putty tat today. Putty tat, putty tat, putty tat. They all got the same. So it's very organized, but it's the blind leading the blind. They're just stupid.
Yeah, and they seem to believe that what they can do is it's just like, I believe it was Lindsey Graham said last year, that we cannot create enough angry white guys.
No, you can't. You sure can't, because
which is what they're trying to do. They have decided, instead of trying to reach out to other folks, because they're a white supremacist party, they don't want brown folks, black folks, and gay folks.
Yeah, they don't want us, Jackie, and they don't have enough of us that they could fool. I mean, Herman Cain and Allen West, it just ain't enough of those black fools to help them along.
Yeah, so since they have decided, well, no, we don't want, and not only that, they don't want us. Okay. So when you...
I'm sorry, Jackie. Apocalypse said Republicans are all Klansmen. We agree with you on that. And again, I say, I married a white man, and it never occurred to me that, oh Lord, when I tell mama and them, they get it never occurred to me that my mother and them weren't going to accept my husband. Now, it did occur to me that my grandmother wasn't. Because she looked like a white woman. Her father was a slave. He escaped from slavery at age 17. He lived to tell about it. It occurred to me that Granny wasn't going to accept it. But it never occurred to me that mama wasn't going to accept my husband or my family. And I never had any mess in our family. So I am eligible to speak on behalf of who's racist and who's not. And the Republican Party, they're that burn bunch of Klansmen. Them some bitches are amazing. And they're just devils with a blue suit on. What's the song, Jack? A devil with a red dress on?
Oh, no, I think it's devil in a blue dress.
Devil in blue. They devils in a blue suit.
Yeah.
And I am qualified to say that. So again, y'all, man, me and Jackie have talked. Oh, it's over after 11 o'clock because we get fired up.
I'm sorry.
This mess is making us mad. This trying to take away our voting rights is really, really, really got me all stirred up. And look, Jackie, this ain't her last time calling in to talk with us, y'all. She just can't schedule every week. But she'll be back because her butt is at home burning over this mess too. We still call each other. You see that shit? Listen, you have been listening to the uppity and well-read Jacqueline Lambert. I am the wild and wonderful Brenda White, and sitting in for KKFI FM's Funkmaster Barry Jackson is my good friend David Capers, aka Daddy Boo Boo. And we will be back tomorrow night, I think, because tomorrow night is a great MSNBC is going to play the full I Have a Dream. And I don't know if I'm going to be here not at 8 o'clock, but if I'm here, y'all will know it, all right?
Yeah,
but
what I'm interested in hearing is President Obama's speech.
Yes, and so tomorrow night some great stuff on because it is the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King's March on Washington for equality and jobs and fairness and all of this. 50 years later, the I Have a Dream speech. So y'all just y'all hang in there and join us tomorrow night at MSNBC. As we say goodbye to you, I'm going to leave you with this short version of Martin Luther King saying, how long? Not long. I love that.
I know you're asking today, how long will it take? Somebody's asking, how long will prejudice blind the visions of men? I come to say to you this afternoon, however difficult the moment, yes, sir, however frustrating the hour, it will not be long, because truth crushed earth will rise again. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. Yes, sir. Because no lie can live forever. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. How long? Because you shall reap what you sow. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. How long? Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yes, that scaffold sways the future. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. How long? Not long. Because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. How long? Not long. Because mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He's trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He's loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is marching on. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah.